Good morning, Abundant Life Church. This is Pastor Chris. Today we're going to look at John chapter 9, verses 1 down through 12. I'm going to tell you a person's name, and you will probably have never heard of this guy. But when I explain to you who he is, you're going to go, oh, okay, I'm familiar with it. Rube Goldberg. Again, you probably never heard of him, but he was a cartoonist back around the turn of the 20th century. And he was famous for these cartoons where he drew these elaborate machines that had all kinds of levers and all kinds of things. Google Rube Goldberg and look at images and you'll see what I mean. If you've ever played the game Mousetrap as a kid, that's a Rube Goldberg machine. Lots of different intricate parts to it. The bottom line, it just drops a little cage on a mouse. In other words, he's famous for going to way too many lengths to get something done. Now, in this passage, Jesus heals a blind man, but the way he does it is kind of unusual, kind of strange. Instead of just touching the guy and healing him, Jesus goes to all this trouble. He spits, he makes mud, he rubs it on the man's eyes, he tells him to wash it off, but not just go wash it off. You have to go to a certain pool. You have to go, not just any water is going to do. You have to go to a certain pool and wash it off there. And when you consider all the other times he's healed somebody, sometimes it was just so easy. He just says, all right, you're healed. Sometimes Jesus isn't even there and says, you're healed. So why all this complication when other healings were pretty simple? At first glance, it seems rather unnecessary. But did he have a reason? All right, let's go ahead and look at verses 1 through 2. As he went along, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? When his disciples first saw this beggar, to him, to them, this beggar was just an occasion for a theological debate. Who sinned, this guy or his parents? Now, why would they just assume that his blindness was a punishment for somebody's sin? Well, because back then it was believed that suffering was God punishing someone because they hadn't behaved themselves. So when they saw somebody suffering, you knew it was their fault. And you start wondering, well, what did this guy done? But this man had been born blind. So was God punishing him, or was he punishing his parents for something they did? But Jesus saw it differently. Look at verses 3 through 5 now. Verse 3 says, this is Jesus' answer, neither this man nor his parents sinned, said Jesus, but this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. As long as it is day, we must do the works of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one works. While I'm in the world, I am the light of the world. Remember, Jesus is at this festival, and he had said at this festival that he was the light of the world. And rather than getting into a pointless theological debate here about this blind man, he says, hey guys, this is really an opportunity to show exactly how I am that light. He's going to give this guy light by healing him. But when Jesus heals this blind man, he makes it so complicated, and we have to ask if that was really necessary. Verses 6 and 7 say this. Hey, my phone didn't turn off. That's a miracle. After saying this, he spit on the ground, made some mud with the saliva, and put it on the blind man's eyes. Go, he told him, wash in the pool of Siloam. This word means sent. So the man went and washed and came home seeing. He uses spit, he makes mud, rubs on the man's eyes, tells him to wash it off, but again, not just anywhere, you got to wash it off in the pool of Siloam. Okay, again, in the past, just touches somebody, they're healed. He's walking by, a woman touches the hem of his garment, she's healed. Why couldn't he make this one simple? Why did he have to go to all this ritual? Well, actually, the spit we can explain. Spit was used a lot back then, and actually it was thought that the spit of a distinguished man might have certain healing qualities. You might think, well, that's pretty weird, but it's really not. I mean, animals groom their young with spit. And when you were a kid and you had that cowlick sticking up in the back of your head and your mom or your grandma comes by, what do they use to fix it? That's right. When a kid gets a boo-boo, here comes mom and she kisses the boo-boo. This is what they were doing back then, essentially. But just explaining the spit doesn't answer the main question. Why was this particular healing so complicated? Why did it have so many moving parts, parts that seem frankly kind of unnecessary? His healings were usually so simple. Why wasn't this one? Why didn't Jesus just do it the easy way? Of course, the answer is found in the next session. So till then, have a great day.